Is it a good time to buy a house in Jupiter? Is it a good time to sell a house in Jupiter? What does the real estate data actually say? The real estate market is separate and distinct for single-family homes, townhomes, and condos. So let's take a look at what the data says across all price points. All right, welcome to the Jupiter March 2024 Real Estate Market Update. My name is Casey Prindle, and I'm a realtor that lives here in Jupiter, specifically in Jupiter Farms. This month I'm going to skip the commentary and get right into the data, so let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. We're going to start with single-family homes. Data loads about a month after the month closes, so this data is going to be from the period of January 1 to January 31 of 2024. Median sales price, $962,500. Kind of in a trendless pattern here for the time being, I think. We skipped down a bit from last month, but up from the $882 in January of last year, January of 2023. So I don't put a ton of stock in median pricing. So let's get into something I feel is much more meaningful. Total number of sales. In my opinion, the number of closings actually happening is what's going to give you the fastest and best snapshot of the Jupiter real estate market. Seasonality kicked in hard here, right? Look at that. If you don't know what I mean, you can go ahead and watch my video about the best time of the year to buy or sell a home. Historically, January is one of our most active months, so we jumped a bit from last month to 76 sales, well above the 50 sales that took place right down here last month. So that's a really positive sign for sellers. Of course, the more sales that there are, like this, the easier it is to sell your house. The more sales that there are, the more difficult it is for buyers to buy a house. So depends which side of the coin that you're on there. All right, list to sales. List to sales prices. Are we leveling off? Are sellers getting the message that is no longer kind of a crazy COVID market that we're in? Maybe. The average seller received 94.88% of their asking price, so still a decent amount of negotiation happening before contract. Again, the higher that we are, the more sellers that control the contract negotiations. The lower that we are, the more leverage buyers have and are leading more of the negotiation or getting the better deals. So we're still kind of close to the bottom of the chart here. So decent amount of movement for buyers, which is a better sign for buyers than for sellers, right? Median days on market sitting at 40 days, down significantly from last month, down from 45 days in January of 2023. Look, this is a good stat to follow. It's going to tell both buyers and sellers how tight the market is getting. It should also be a note to buyers that if you see something on the market for 30 days and think it's been listed way too long and you're going to get a steal of a deal, you're just not paying attention to the data. Also, sellers, don't freak out if you've been on the market for 30 days without sale. Save that for the 90-day mark. Look, and this is just the amount of days it was active on the MLS. It does not include the time it was pending. So realistically, you're going to add 30 or 45 days on to this number if you're a buyer or a seller to know how many days you're actually going to close in on average. Median price per square foot, range bound. Of course, we're kind of close to the higher end of the range, but again, we've been talking about, the good stuff is selling. If that's the first time you've heard me say that, watch any of my other videos, and it'll help explain why the price is kind of up here where it is. So anyways, let's skip over to total dollar volume. Total dollar volume just came roaring back, right? There were 3 sales above $10 million, so that's always going to help. Up year over year from 81 million, up month over month by a whopping 45%. So that's a huge spike in volume and something to watch. Again, we'll want to keep an eye on if it's just a low number of large dollar sales that's dragging this up, or if the overall market breadth is improving. All right, buyers, let's get into our doom and gloom, shall we? Inventory, down more than 25% year over year, down slightly month over month. I've said this before, but it bears repeating. You're going to feel like there is more or less inventory depending on what price bracket you're shopping in. In the lower price brackets, there's still very little inventory. So you need to understand where the market is loosest and where it is tightest based on price points before you begin your search and set your expectations. So, and again, the world considers 6 months to be neutral market, favoring neither buyers nor sellers. I don't really think that you can use that. Look, 5-year chart here, we haven't been near 6 months. So anyways, I think right now this market is favoring sellers. This is still 3.89 months is very low supply. So let's switch over to condos and townhomes. All right, before we begin, I want to note the single family and condo townhome market, they look dramatically different from one another right now. So if you're searching for single family homes, you need to really pay attention to just that data set. If you're looking for a condo or a townhome in Jupiter, then use this one. Don't mix and match or anything crazy like that. The markets are very distinct and separate from one another. So that being said, onto the data here. Median pricing on condos and townhomes headed south. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm not shocked by it, but let's look at more of the data before we throw too many opinions out there. Number of properties sold, an example of why I say condos and townhomes and single family homes are separate and distinct markets. Single family sales were up, condo and townhome sales are still down, where they've been for the last few months, right? Kind of looks pretty flatline down there. 41 sales up slightly from last month, down year over year from 59 sales in January of 2023, an ominous sign for condo townhome sellers and inventory levels there. So let's see what February brings, but there are definitely some storm clouds forming there. Now it is very interesting to see that the list to sales ratio is so tight at 97.5. Buyers and sellers aren't negotiating a ton before contract. It seems the sellers were realistic in their pricing and buyers are motivated enough to come close to ask. So that's a positive development for sellers. Days on market headed down to 39 days from 55, which is pretty interesting. We were up at 70 days, January of 2023, or excuse me, February of 2023. My guess again, sellers price right, and buyers couldn't really argue the asking price once comparables were reviewed. So pretty good stat. See which way it resolves here. Price per square foot, we're going to kind of go over this one quickly. We came down off the spike. Let's see, here's the $400 line. Here's the $300 line. We've spent most of the time here around that $350 mark, right? So kind of range bound. I'm not shocked or scared if we go back towards that $350 number and kind of hang out around there. It's where it's been. Total dollar volume looking rough here, right? Down over 26% month over month, down from 36 million to 24 million year over year. I had honestly expected a bump in volume, so it's a bit of an ominous sign for sellers. But what's bad for one side of a deal is good for the other side of the deals. Another net positive win for buyers here, I would say. Supply, not a positive development for sellers. We're still up around that 6-month mark, which is the kind of that 5-year high watermark, and again gets into favoring neither buyers or sellers. So, while I'm not calling it a buyer's market in condos and townhomes yet anyways, buyers certainly have a lot more inventory to view versus those who are looking at single family homes. Remember, we were down around 3 months. So unlike in single family homes, this isn't a really price bracket sensitive. There are things sitting across lower and higher end of pricing, and I'm seeing price reductions come in every single day. So anyways, if you want to talk about some more real estate, call, text, or email me. We can even have a coffee or a cocktail together. Until next month, guys, we'll see you.